Welcome to the show where I take a look at someone's personal finances and find ways to improve their bad financial situation or meet the financial goals they're trying to achieve. Remember to subscribe, as one of the first 50,000 subscribers here will win $1,000. And with that, my name is Caleb Hammer. Today we are meeting with Elizabeth. Elizabeth, how old are you and where are you based out of?
So I am 21. I'm based out of Charlotte, well, Mooresville area, but close to Charlotte.
And what do you do for a living right now? Or are you in school or hybrid?
Yeah, so I'm currently not in school. I work for Freedom Boat Club. I recently just started not that long ago there, so I've probably been there 6 months now, so still fairly new to that.
What's your position? What do you do?
Yeah, so right now, I'm technically a dock master, but in finer ways of saying that, I handle all the club's, daily things for them.
Okay, and what do you make?
So right now I'm making $15 an hour. But we're obviously boating season. I'm in the off season right now. So 15 an hour in the main season, which also comes with tips. But right now I'm working at the detailing shop. So I just make 15 hours flat right now.
Oh, and how many hours a week do you work?
Yes. So I recently, with working at the shop, with the detailing shop for them, it's kind of hit or miss. I asked for 40. Typically I get around 30 to 36 hours. But during the main season, 40, mostly overtime during that time.
Okay, and I assume that's just like summertime?
Yes.
Right now, we'll say maybe like 32 hours a week. So you make like $480 currently on a weekly basis, would you say, before taxes?
Yes. Roughly right around there. I'd say like most of my paychecks are around 1,000. And like I said, that's for 2 weeks though.
Okay.
So I recently, it's kind of hard to say because I just started doing, working at the shop instead of being at the like main office. So I haven't really gotten my first paycheck with working at the shop, which like I said is just the flat 15. But when I was working at the other one getting tips, obviously that has a lot into play with my like paycheck as well.
Yeah, I mean, I will say your first check on the statement was only 856, but then your most recent was 1,053. So you did increase by $200 there.
Yeah.
Now, describe your financial situation and what I might be able to help with.
Yeah, so right now, I'm currently still living in my parents' house and I'm trying to get out of that. So, getting out on my own, trying to figure out, financially what's the next steps to do that. And I do have, obviously, you'll talk about shortly, some debt, some things I, need to get figured out. And obviously, I want to talk about too, like different things that I can do to set myself up for success in the future, while I can. Right now.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, let's take a look at your financial picture and then we'll get some things together. So we had a beginning balance of this month's statement, $1,223. 1,950 came in and 1,853 came out. So spending less than came in, that's good. 1,321 left. So let's see where things are going. Immediately, we're getting some coffee. You're doing Target and Walmart, stuff like that. More coffee. I can already see a trend with this coffee place and McDonald's and Clutch Coffee again and DoorDash, Starbucks, yeah, McDonald's. Good amount of Targets. Are those grocery trips or are those fun?
So I think the pay stub that I recently sent, I did a lot of like Christmas shopping for Black Friday. So some of that stuff I did get like Target and Ulta. I know those were the two places that I went to get Christmas stuff. So it's kind of like a rare thing. Normally I go to Target just for like essentials like shampoo, conditioner. That's really all I go there for.
Okay, and so far we were looking at early November, but going on, good amount of Walmarts and Clutch Coffee continues to pop up. Clutch Coffee, Clutch Coffee, yikes, Clutch Coffee, jeez, yeah, it's there, and then Star Tobacco and more. That's an expensive habit.
Yes.
Well, Clutch Coffee, GameStop. I didn't know people went there anymore, but you're keeping the stock alive. So, and then Ulta, that's always expensive, $72 So obviously lots of fun spending. I'm okay with Planet Fitness. That's okay. Keep your fitness. That's good. But you certainly, again, spent less than you brought in. So that's okay. But are those fun things okay? That depends on your overall financial picture. Let's see what that looks like. We do have a credit card, it looks like. So this has a previous balance of $1,023, payments of only $52. So that's not good. Oh no. Okay, so yikes. Okay, so fees charged of $8.25. Fees, and then interest of $22.32. Which, in your situation of $2,000 a month post taxes, these fees and interest are not something you want to have continue. What was this fee for? What did you have?
Yes.
Oh, it was an annual fee. Why do you have an annual fee credit card?
Okay, so with that credit card, it's kind of a weird situation. So when I was 18, I had moved to Savannah, Georgia. And at the time, I had enough money for like the first month's rent, whatever. And I didn't have a credit card at that time. And I had been applying for credit cards for forever. But since I was 18, had no credit, I couldn't get any. So you'll probably see on the statements under my mom's name. So when I was 18, she got a credit card for me, put it under her name. And then after she was like, well, you should just put the first month's thing on there, start building your credit, whatever. Then I found out after like a couple months of paying like extra on it when I first got it to just pay it off because I already had the money on it at the time. I realized that it wasn't building my credit and it had nothing to do with mine, even though the card was in my name, but under her account. So that card, really, I just been paying the minimum payments. I'm like, it's not building my credit. I could honestly just pay it off, but at this point,
Well, it's not going to build your credit if your balance is 50% of utilization's at 50%.
Yeah, so it's kind of, like I said, it's kind of a weird situation because it's not even technically my credit card. And I haven't, like, that's the only thing it was that one big payment. And then there was a time where my debit card was like expired. So I had to use that in the meantime. But I'm pretty sure that card's expired. I've never used it in probably like 2 years. I just pay the minimum monthly payments on that card.
No, it is time to pay this off because guess what? Total fees charged in 2022, $109, and total interest charged, $254. So just keeping this card open and making these stupid minimum monthly payments, $360 you've lost this year. And on $2,000 a month and, having hours cut and stuff in slow seasons, you can't do that. That's stupid. That's money that could be going towards things like the card debt that we'll talk about soon. The 26.9% interest. Could you imagine holding any other debt at 27% interest? Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't. And I've thought about paying this card off multiple times, but there's different things that goes on. I'm like, oh, I should use that money instead of this, blah, blah, blah.
Well, why don't you?
I should pay it off.
Why don't you?
So in the past like year or two, I had a few like upcoming out of the blue expenses. So I was like, okay, well, I'll use that and then I'll just keep paying the minimum monthly payments. Honestly, really, I was young, I was 18, didn't really know what I was doing. And even now I'm like, okay, well, I should pay it off. I just haven't yet, really.
Well, it's time to pay this off. I'm glad you're not making any more purchases. That's good, but it is time to pay this off. It makes no sense. It would take you 4 years doing the minimum monthly payment, losing an additional. You'll end up paying $1,526 only minimum monthly payment for 4 years. You want to be 25 finally paying this thing off?
No, for sure not, but I just haven't yet.
Well, it's time to. That makes no sense. We'll talk about that. We'll loop back because have enough you technically have enough in your checking account, but we need to look at the whole thing. And then, okay, you have a car. Let's see. $255 a month is kind of an expensive car for you. Oh boy. All right, let's see.
Like a little bit before we get into that, because I know you're gonna yell at me for it. So when about a year ago, I had a Jeep Patriot. It was paid off. I paid off it in cash when I was like 18. so I had that car for a couple years, and then it finally crapped out on me. And at the time I was driving from Charlotte, like to the main, like uptown Charlotte and back. It was about a 45-minute drive from me every day. So I had started a savings for a car, knowing that my car was going to soon, die on me. So I had about, I want to say it was like 6,000 saved up. So when my car did eventually, go down, I had that, and then I also had the value of my car to trade into. So as you see, I, financed a car at the time.
This is the exact situation. I'm so glad you came on the show, because I've brought this up hypothetically recently, but this is why I'm not for taking out leverage on a depreciating asset specifically. Because yes, if you have $10,000, let's say $10,000 borrowed on a car, as you do, and let's pretend the interest rate is at 4% or less, yes, it makes sense. Take out $10,000 in debt instead of paying $10,000 down, because you can invest more on things that give an average of 10% return, like the S&P 500, and you will make your money. But that's not how the stupid, especially American brain works. When you have $6,000 and then the trade, and let's say you had $7,000, $8,000, and then that's what you had to spend on, and you could either leverage by taking out debt, or you could buy a car in cash. Instead of buying a car in cash, what people tend to do, if they know they have to just put a little bit down, or even just that much down and then take out debt, they go for a more expensive car because they're borrowing the more. That's the psychology behind it, and you're the perfect example of that. So now you have $10,750. Where'd that money go in the trade-in? Was that a down payment?
So originally what my thought was, it was a down payment on it. So I put down, I think it was like after everything, like my trade-in and how much I put down, it was like 11,000. And then my thought process was, okay, I didn't have credit at the time. So I was like, well, maybe this would be a good start to building my credit while I have so much money to be put down. Because I had went to like a few other places, looked at even used cars to see what I could get for what I was putting down. And a lot of places gave me like 20% interest rate, 25. So it was getting to that time where I was like, okay, I need a car. And the smallest interest rate I got, I think the one that I have now is like 13. Oh. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll just do this, and then I'll pay for it for a year, build my credit, and then refinance it. That was my thought process. But now, looking back on it, I'm like, I wish I never did that. But I mean, there's really nothing I can do about it now. But I do plan on refinancing it.
Refinancing it how? What interest rate? Interest rates are only going up even for people with a good score. And what is your credit score? 50% balance on your credit card.
So when I got my car, I had zero, nothing. I had no credit whatsoever, because I had the credit card, but it wasn't building my credit. That's how I found out. I think now my credit score is like 670, 680, around there. I check it pretty regularly.
Okay, with that, I mean, maybe you'll be able to get it down to like 9%, but with where interest rates are today and where they're continuing to go, even with slower interest rate hikes.
Yeah.
At that score, not a fantastic score, not the worst score ever either, kind of middle of the road. I think it's considered fair, right? You will... Sure, 9% is better than 13, but that's not what's going to make or break your situation here. This is terrible. This was horrible. You should have... Private sale. Anyone listening? Private sale. Even when the market was at its peak with the money you had and the trading value you could have gotten cash from like CarMax or something like that, you had like $10,000, $11,000 to private sale. Search like it's a full-time job for a car. Take it to your trusted mechanic and have them give your thumbs up on the purchase.
Trust me, I knew it at the time too. Like even when I bought my first car, and didn't have to pay monthly on it besides insurance, I loved it. But I was also like in the moment, needed to get away to work and back. It was a very like spur of the moment thing. I just needed a car. I think I looked for a car like for a month before, because I knew it was getting that time where my car was gonna stop working soon. And I just literally just did it on a whim. I know now I'm like, oh, but I've also thought, and obviously I don't want to, I do like my car and I don't like the payments I make on it. And I have thought about like, trading it back or,
Tell me the car.
have to do, but.
What is the car? Tell me the car.
So it's a 2020 Honda Elantra. And I've looked up like how much the value of it is now. I believe when I did it, it was like 18,000 or 19,000, something around there. I think I still have probably like 11 or 12. No, not. I think it was like 10,000 left on the loan.
10,000, and I think you might be able to get a little more than that. You might be able to get up to close to like 20,000. You might want to start private sale, and then we're getting rid of this car. This makes no sense. This makes absolutely no sense. You don't keep this car. This car doesn't exist in your life. This makes 0 sense.
So the biggest, when I had thought about it, because obviously like I don't want to, but if that's what I need to do, then I will. But I've looked into it and I'm not really sure like how that all works as far as like getting, the whole loan and whatever, or because I know there was a while
What are you talking about getting a loan?
Sorry?
What are you talking about getting a loan?
Like either like selling the car and then doing something else. But I know that there was somebody that I had talked to that they said you could like refinance for something cheaper and you're still financing, but only for like maybe $2,000 around there. So it's a lot different than like obviously a $14,000 loan.
We've barely even scratched the surface of your life, but I can tell you cannot afford this car. This doesn't make sense in your situation. I want you to get to a point where you can have this car, but this doesn't work in your situation. No, what you are going to do starting tonight is you are going to list this thing for private sale somewhere, try to get it for $20,000. If you struggle with that for a couple weeks, then try to get a trade-in, get it as close to 20 as possible. Then you early pay off $10,750 of this loan. It's gone. Then you have like $9,000 left, and you full-time job search on private sale anywhere and used car parking lots as well for good deals on cars that are in that range in cash, because you cannot afford to have a car payment at all, and your credit score is not good enough to give you an interest rate that would be even somewhat justifiable on a car. And then you take it to a mechanic you trust, figure out one as well if you don't have them yet, or her, and then you get the sign off that, okay, this car is good to buy at this value and it will last you. And that is what you do, because this is unacceptable.
Yeah.
So do you have savings anywhere? Do you have money anywhere?
So right now, no. Well, I have about $2,000 saved up. So what I do, how my savings works is during the summertime, I do make a lot in tips. Typically, I make like an average of $100 in cash every single day I work, and then another like 50 in credit card tips on top of my hourly pay. So throughout the entire summer, I just saved up all my cash tips. So I think right now I have probably like $3,000 or $4,000 saved up in cash. But now, obviously, with the off season and not getting tips at all, I haven't been saving much at all. And I do have a few expenses that are coming up that I've been debating on. What should I do? Do I just put all my savings for it, or
What are the expenses that are coming up?
Yes, so I recently got a speeding ticket. So that and then I have a lot of dentist bills, so I have to get 2 crowns, which is going to be around $2,000 alone to get those. So those are my 2 things right now where I'm like, okay.
Your parents, you live with your parents, so I assume you're on their health insurance. None of them have any good dental plans?
So I am on my stepdad's dental plan, but that's after insurance covers it. So around $2,000 that I have to pay out of pocket.
Yeah, crowns are expensive. Okay. And we're not financing them. How much in cash do you actually have right now? How much?
I can probably look.
No, okay, give me.
I think the last time I looked at it, it was like 2,300. So, I mean, yeah.
Okay, so you have 3,000 or you have 200 because, or you have 300 because 2,000 is going to paying for the crown, and that's fine. Yeah, you have to do what you have to do. And if it hurts, it hurts. We need to get dental health is very important. It can lead to bad things, blah, blah, blah. We all know. Okay. So cool. Is this, when you pull up your credit report, when's the last time you pulled up a credit report?
I do it, I mean, pretty regularly.
On this credit report, is this credit card on there?
It's not.
Then this is not, then this is not in your name. This is in your mom's name. If it's not on your, so, okay, I still think you should pay this off, but in general, what you're doing is you're hurting her credit score. So this is kind of a yikes situation that you are in.
Yeah.
You're doing that car thing because it makes no sense. That needs to be done by the end of December, that you are driving in a paid-for car and that car is back on some used car parking lot. That makes zero sense. Stupid decision, but you're going to get out of it and you're going to turn this crap around. This credit card then, pay for the ground, then you have like $2,000 if your checking account stays the same. Again, you spent $100 less than you brought in. The credit card, you need to talk to your mom. You need to have a conversation around this, get a game plan. Does she know it's on her credit and not yours at all?
Yeah, she knows. Well, I found out like maybe 2 months after I got the credit card. And that's the reason why, like, I want to get my own credit card, obviously in my own name. So I start building my own credit. But my biggest thing is I'm like, I don't want to get a credit card, another one after I still have this one. So I'm kind of in like a little, or if it's still a good idea.
I don't know. No, I don't know if getting a credit card for you is a good idea because you're spending all this money on coffee when you have a terrible car loan that you're not paying off early, and when there's $1,000 that you at least feel responsible, and I think you are responsible for having on a credit card, and you're not touching it, only making a minimum monthly payment. All that does not spell you having a credit card. I would rather you have a fair credit score than you be in a horrible credit card debt in 10 years from now.
Yeah, and I know that too. I feel like I definitely would fall into that, minority of people that can't own a credit card. And
majority of people who cannot have credit cards. And that is okay. If you recognize it, then do it. Make the mature choice and don't have a credit card. It is okay. I wish you could. You can't. That's fine. Live with it. That's okay. Now, so, I mean, the car situation is actually pretty easy. It's going to be work, but the solution itself, as the story of it goes, it's easy. So just do that. Just please do that for yourself. And then obviously take care of the crown. Then just stop eating sugar because that's too expensive. Now, another thing, did you go to college? Do you have anything there?
No, so I did not go to college.
That's okay, but we need to start thinking about career because $15 an hour, 30 hours for half the year, if not longer, because it's not like it's super nice in North Carolina for the second half of the year either way. So, and then tips, that's great. So you have a good season, but even that good season is not that great compared to a career position. You need to start thinking about, yeah, go ahead.
Something I've been working on too. So I am getting a raise in the beginning of January, and they haven't like gone over the like what's going to be, but as right now they've set a salary position for me, which will be great. And then I'll have some health benefits, all of that too included in it. But another thing that I've been looking for is going to school. I've originally my savings was for school. I want to get my captain's license, but obviously with everything that's been going on, some different expenses, I've put that on hold. So that is still something I do plan on doing in the future.
Cosmetology?
No, captain's license.
Oh, captain. So you want to live that boat life?
Yes.
Okay. That's cool. I don't really know anything about that, but just be well informed on, the return on investment for that certificate. Certificates in general are not as good as a degree in terms of being able to take it into the general workforce in case, that career path doesn't work out. But, okay. That's okay. And then cash flow certificates are cheaper. Do it. Work your butt off during this and save up as much money as possible to do that, if that's what you want to do. But if you also see a career position with a salary position, make sure better be at least $40,000 a year.
Yeah, they said we've kind of gone over a little bit of the numbers around like 57,000. But that's also not including any extra bonuses or anything. So they're still like going over the position now. I should hear an actual offer letter in the beginning of January.
Okay, if that's the case, then that's that's like $25,000 more than you're making now, and that's if you worked 40 hours a week, always.
So it's definitely a huge jump and that's something I've been looking forward to. Will definitely make my situation a little bit better, which is why I've been on the fence about selling my car.
Nope. The car goes because you have a terrible car payment that sucks with terrible interest. Even if you refinance to the credit score you have now, it is not going to be justifiable, mathematically speaking, with that interest rate, terrible interest rate. You probably get like 8 or 9, and it'll still be disgusting and make me want to vomit. So you will get to a point, if you're making in this mid-50s thousands, you will get to the point where you can save up a car fund on the side, and you will be able to get a car similar to this or nicer to this in the future, but not now. You are taking sacrifices now so you can have a better life.
Yeah.
I like that. If there's a career position internally at this company, I love that. And pursue the heck out of it. And then if you would rather be a captain, that's fine as well. I'm a little ignorant on the job field surrounding that specifically because it's never been something I've looked into. I get seasick. So yeah, but I mean, that's cool. What's clear, figure out this car thing. Don't make excuses or justifications like you almost just tried to do to not get rid of it. This credit card, so what does your mom think about it? How are we attacking this? What has she said?
Honestly, she doesn't really say much about it. She's just like, pay it off.
Okay, if it is pay it off, then I think what you do with the other $300 that does not go to this dental thing, giving you about $2,000 in there, $1,000, pay it off by the end of December. Just get it out of the way. You spent the money, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you spent the money. It's ruining her credit, or at least holding it back. Pay it off. Don't open up a credit card for you. It doesn't make sense. Pay this off.
So another thing I was thinking about too, because obviously the whole dental thing isn't going to be till around January, and even a little bit of February, and it's going to be split into 2, so around like 700 each, I want to say. So I thought about obviously still using my savings for that, but also at the same time like cash flowing it, so I'm not just taking everything out of my savings to do that, because I still have a month or 2, and I can definitely be able to cash flow paying that instead of using my savings at the moment. So I also thought about using my savings to pay off the credit card, because that's one less thing I have to worry about, and then cash flowing my dentist bill. But
yeah, if you can,
it would be better.
If you can do that, that's fine. If you can do that, that's great. So just make sure the math surrounding that is accurate, and then sure, that's fine.
There was a few things like I wanted to talk about, like investing. I didn't know if that's something that's around the time I should be doing it, or if I even have the finance to look at that. But that is something that I want. Like, I'm pretty oblivious or have no idea how to even get into that. But obviously if there's things I can do now that will help, then I'd like to do that,
Yeah, we'll briefly scratch the surface because you're not in a place now where you can think about this, because let's talk about what you have to do to get there. The car situation, figured out, your credit card paid off, but I think you can do that all by the end of December. Now, in January, what you start doing, you cut back on all this coffee crap and stop. You need an emergency fund. You need to save up $10,000. And that's going to take you 10 months if you save half of your income right now. That's insane. So you can't be having any kind of fun. You need to be going crazy, and you don't get to touch or even think about any kind of investing until you have $10,000 saved up on the side. And then once you do that, you can think about moving out. You can think about investing, and we can have a conversation then at that point. But you'll probably just want to max out your Roth IRA, $6,000 a year, $500 a month if you want to do that, and then probably put some things. You'll be in a salary position. Hopefully they have like 401k match. You'll want to take advantage of that, and we can talk about that as that time comes. But you're a good distance away, because this emergency fund is going to take a hot second to save up for if you do not get this raise quickly.
Yeah, and that's that's the biggest thing too. I need to move out very soon.
Why do you need to move out?
Well, either that or I'll get kicked out. So I definitely need to figure out somewhere to stay.
Why would you get kicked out? What the fuck is wrong with your parents?
They definitely have been on it for, for a minute about me moving out of the house, which obviously I do too, but I know that I'm not in a financial place to move out at the moment.
Exactly. You're not. You have a terrible situation. You need to. What is wrong with some of you parents out there? This doesn't make any sense. She is trying to, if you take the right steps to get rid of this car situation, get a paid for car, and get on a better financial foot, parents should be supporting that and encouraging that. And it is okay for you to live there for a little bit while you get your finances in order. Now, I understand it. If you're just being lazy and you're making bad financial choices and stuff like that, then yeah, kick them out and they will learn. Sure. But that's stupid. And I'm getting upset at their stupidity right now. If you are doing the right thing financially, which if you go from this conversation and do what we talked about, then you are, they should encourage that and wait for you to have a fully funded emergency fund. If you're doing it aggressively and you're not spending money on fun, they should let you stay there for another year until you have that. And then you can move out.
And I agree 100% with that. But I definitely need to figure that out, because if not, then
we'll have the conversation similar to what I just said in a more less hostile way, because I'm feeling hostile right now towards that stupidity
conversation.
We'll show them this video and tell them I'll fight you if you're going to be that stupid.
Yeah, I think it's just different. My mom, she had us at 18 and moved out, and obviously now the prices of living is a lot different than
Oh my goodness. Oh, your poor mom. Guess what? Everyone's life is different and she's trying to improve her life. Calm down, Mom. Not every life has to be exactly like yours. What the Tell her to show her this video. She's being incredibly stupid. It makes no sense. As long as you are doing what's good and what's right to improve your life and get to the point where you can move out comfortably and have a successful life, then you should be able to stay there. If you're being bad, then she would be enabling bad behavior, but you have been. Now you won't be. You're fixing it. So that's okay. That's
yeah. I do want to at least think about, like, obviously I know, and I say that too. I'm like, things are different now, but I would like to at least think about like a savings with that. Now, yes, $10,000 for emergency fund has always been the goal, and I've done that, and at this point I haven't because of my car situation, but I would like to think of also having some type of, either that means like a emergency fund for that, or including that in my emergency fund, the $10,000. But that is something that I definitely need to think about for if it for whatever reason.
Yeah, for sure. And now that I've had a second to decompress, yes, there are very good, we want you to get out in general. There are very good things that your parents did learn when they moved out early. It's just, we need to make sure you're in a good financial position. It doesn't make sense to, as long as it's not enabling bad behavior, it doesn't make sense to put someone in a bad financial situation. So, especially if there's someone you love. So, whatever. Either way, do you have any final thoughts?
No, I think that's it.
For Elizabeth and her hammer financial score, some things are out of her control, like whether or not she'll be forced to move out before she gets this car thing figured out. Hopefully she can do that before that. Hopefully she can have an emergency fund before that. But obviously need to cut back on the crap spending and then get that emergency fund. Figure out this car thing. It's a terrible 13% interest on a car that's half your income. It's insane. In this credit card situation and on your mom's credit, it's gross, it's bad, it's really not good. So certainly not going to be a great score, and there's no savings, there's no investing. There's a little bit of savings, but it's going towards the crown, which is good. I'm glad you're not taking out any debt for that, so thank you, Elizabeth, for that. Overall, hammer financial score, not going to be great, 4 out of 10, but there's certainly a path to success. It's going to take some sacrifices, and that new income would help. Just don't succumb to lifestyle inflation as well. Share this video with someone who you think might enjoy it, as it really helps the channel grow. And feel free to follow me on all the socials. Thanks.